Hey, what's up? My name's Austin. Today is April 1st, 2020. Um, just want to start talking about, just my testimonies, what I've been through, so you guys can really understand what's going on and my thought process with everything, and um, just get to know, and also let's say if I get in a major car accident and I forget everything, and at least maybe somebody will see this and be like, hey, this is all your life stories with Jesus right here. I'll be like, who? So just give me a process. Also, just a really big storage thing going on here. I'm just trying to store everything here. And, if I help some people along the way, that's awesome. That's great. So, um, yes, let's get started with my first one. There's a lot. Always going through something, always learning, always growing, always being challenged by God in different ways. Even now I'm going through one of the hardest battles of my life. And it's crazy to think about that this isn't the only thing that I'm going to be fighting with for all eternity. I'm going to overcome this with Christ one day, soon maybe, or over the years, who knows. But this isn't even the thick of it. I'm just walking through trees every now and then. I'm not even in the forest yet, and it's crazy to think about. I'm not even there, because I'm struggling. But let me talk to you guys about back in the good days when I was a little high schooler. Um, I was what was it? I was probably seventh or eighth grade at the time. Um, this is when I kind of was getting into church a little more. I just found out, hey, I kind of want to go to church. Sitting at home bored, I was like, her church is really cool and stuff like that. There's other stuff goes wrong with that story, but that's not really the main focus right now. But so I started going to church. Just found out, thought it was pretty cool, and this time my great grandma, uh, she's broke her hip one day. She's like in her 90s, but like that's the only thing she's ever done. Like she was really healthy before all this and everything was going on. I was like, oh, okay, so she'll be all right. And like with her, she was like one of the most Christian people I've ever met. She's really strict. She's always read the Bible. She's told me multiple times that she's read the Bible front to back like 5 or 6 times, and I'm like, that big thing? It's a huge book. I don't even know if I can read that even once. And going through that journey of reading it completely front to back is going to be amazing. But besides the point, at this point she got sick, and I was like thinking, because now I'm just being a new Christian. I'm learning about Jesus. I'm like, why would Jesus want her to be in pain, and what's going on? And I was just losing it. I was confused. I was like, oh, she's gonna be all right, because like God's got her back, and I'll pray for her, and God will answer. That's what it is. That's what's gonna happen. Um, Prayed and prayed and prayed, and uh, my prayer wasn't answered the way my way of thinking at all. She passed away, and I was freaking out. Um, Before then, I've lost so many grandparents. You know, Once she passed, I've only got 3 left. They're all still fighting. They're still alive, so that's awesome. But so many grandparents just gone. So many people that I've lost, and it all hit me at once. Growing up, I didn't really understand what that meant and what happens. And once I got, so old, I guess, it all hit me all at once. Like, it was crazy. It really hurt me. I just got depressed. I just didn't want to do things. I was in a not so Christian relationship with a certain girl, and how that goes. Hopefully you don't ever know, but I'm young. I was young. I was dumb. I didn't really understand. I was confused, and wasn't with somebody who was trying to help me. But anywho, I was really down in the gutters. I was upset, lost, scared, and I was just doing it to myself. Like, I'm an introvert. I believe there are times that I can speak and extrovert or whatever. I can switch it on and off sometimes. Most of the time I want to stay home, and at that time, as an introvert, not only staying home, I was always staying in my room, secluded away from everybody, just stuck here in this room with my thoughts during this time of depression. That was not a good idea. Still go to church and all that, but whatever. Days go on that I'm just sitting here watching TV, wasting my life away. I'm just looking at everything and just didn't understand. I was still so lost about this, and I was confused. I was like, what was the point? I got so depressed. There are times that even I wish I would die. I understood once my great grandma died. When she died, she went to heaven to see Jesus. I understood that, and it hurt to see her go. But then I was like, oh, I'm a Christian now, and I'm in pain right now. What if I just die? Then I'll see Jesus. Everything will be amazing. I could die. Jesus will, heal me of all this sickness I'm going through, this mental trap I'm in. I shoved myself in, basically. And I would pray. I pray to Jesus. I'm like, Jesus, please kill me now. Because at that point, I understood killing yourself is not the way to go into heaven. I knew that, and I was like, God, get me in a car accident, let me get hit by a bus, like, let someone shoot me. I'm laughing now, but I was on my knees crying to Jesus at that time. It's crazy to think it was so long ago. I've graduated now. I'm not even in middle school anymore. Whatever that would be. I guess 7th and 8th grade was my school's high school. But, anyway, where was I? Yes, months and months go by. The whole summer, I just kept to myself and stayed away from everybody and stayed in my room. Like I said again, that was an awful idea. Well, it was an amazing idea because at the time what I was going through, but if I really wanted help, I should not have stayed in my room. That's a good message to bring out is don't stay in your room if you're going through this. Don't stay away. You know, people do love you. People do care about you. They don't want to see you hurt. They don't want to see you dead. No matter how long they bicker at you or nag at you slowly throughout the day, they do love you. That summer, one thing that would be not funny, but like just showing how far I would go to this, I would think about self-harming, but you know, I would go downstairs, put a kitchen knife in my pocket, go upstairs. I really didn't even need to put it in my pocket. I could just walk with it because there's not a lot of people around. It was just me and my mom and my sister. Not a lot there, so not a lot of movement up and down and in the kitchen and stuff. So I was like, I could have just carried it out, but you know, keep it in my pocket just in case somebody stops me and talks to me for a little bit, and then go back upstairs and hide it in my desk drawer. And that night, I'll kill myself. That was where the point I was at. You know, I was praying that Jesus, I was like, God, please take my life for me. You know, I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to. I just want this pain to go away. A lot of people would go to alcohol, drugs, and stuff to kind of take that pain away or kind of just zone out for a bit. And I went to TV. I just sit in front of the TV for hours and hours and hours a day, and during my summer, just do nothing. And even when I would do something, I was in a terrible relationship. Not terrible. Like I had fun, but at that time, it wasn't very helpful. Say that. I started to build this mask, you know, from my family, from the people that loved me the most, from everyone. That summer, I was actually I'm laughing now because the one thing you know you really shouldn't do is Google, say, "Oh my gosh, what happens? I want to die. Uh, what's going on? Like, am I mentally sick or something? You know, like you know when you have a temperature or something, you're like, oh my god, do I have like the flu? And what kind of flu? And is it I got a sore throat? Is it strep? Is it my tonsils just bulging so big that I'm gonna explode and die? You know, just something you shouldn't do." But at that time, I did. I had a depression test, and it was like I was very depressed, and you know, I mean, online testing, but I was like, that's major, man. Like, it was the first time I was like, you know, I do want to die. You know, I want to see Jesus. I want to just give up. I just want the easy way out. But that's not going to happen. And I didn't know that at that time. I was just living on a prayer that was going to happen and stuff. But no. Whole summer, man. It's crazy. Just hiding in my room. You know, thinking about suicide, and you know, my mom downstairs. You know, she didn't know nothing. She didn't know anything. that summer before school started, I decided to tell her. I remember um, how she grabbed me to hold me. I remember her tears on my shoulder. She cried on me. She grabbed my face and said, "We're gonna get help. We're gonna get help." My mom, my dad, only ones I could really trust. Only ones I ever told at that time. Let's get that, you know, telling the whole internet right now. So, but it's the only people who knew. And I started school, I built this mask, and my depression got so worse. I hid it from my friends. I put on a fake smile. Sometimes I would go through episodes. Well, not episodes, I guess. I'd be walking through the hallways. I was like looking around. There's a lot of ways to kill yourself in school. A lot of ways. If you really want to do it, you can. Anywhere. At school, that's really what happened. Was I would look around and I'm like, dude, I can jump out that window and not make it, and I'll die. That's what I'll do. Or I can there's definitely, you could probably hang yourself on that steel pipe right there. Or, the bleachers at the gym, I could jump off of them, off the side, and land on my head just right and never wake up again. And, these thoughts were going throughout the day, and I'd be like, this is getting worse. And hiding it from my friends and everybody, just laughing and joking and pretending like I wasn't upset was very difficult. And I worked really hard, really, really hard to show people that, hey, this is awesome. I'm loving school. I love you guys. How are you doing? But honestly, was going through my mind at that time, that I was like, Lord, I just want to give up. God, I want to give up. Please let me die, please. Nothing, And I would go to the therapist, go during school hours. Amazing therapist. She'd listen to me, hear me out, and talk to me. And she was a Christian, so that just made everything even better, because she could understand to a point. Because I guess what I thought was kind of weird, which, now, growing probably like, oh man, it's been years. So many years now in the church, I understand, hey, like that one thing that I thought just shot all the way into the wrong area that I shouldn't have been thinking in. And I would have to lie to everybody. I'd be like, hey, yeah, I'm just going to the dentist and stuff. I'll see you guys tomorrow, just cleaning and stuff or whatever. Or, whatever, whatever it is. It was awesome. Awesome. I took so much pride in putting my mask on, like so much pride, so much hard work to put on that fake smile to just make everybody else happy. That's really what I did. At this time I was going to youth group. I guess I probably should mention that too, because that comes up pretty soon. I was going to youth group. I was doing some other stuff. I was hanging out with church, and at that time I wasn't new, but I'm not much of a talker to people. So I was like, I'm just gonna sit back here and listen and worship and um, pray. Pray so hard. Um, and then one night, probably later in this depression episode, probably like 2 months before I was rid of it, let's say, I had this dream. I closed my eyes. I felt this light. It was just bright light, amazing light, warmth. In my dream it was warmth, and it's like kind of what I thought heaven would be. Maybe that's probably what it was. I heard this voice saying, not evil, not like satanic or anything. It was gentle. It was a gentle voice, and it was saying, Austin, I will let you into heaven if you kill yourself. It would say that like 5 times probably, or over and over and over again. And I was like, I woke up and I thought about it, and I was like, what the heck was that? I was like, there's no way that's God. There's no way. And I was like thinking about it. I was like, no, there's no way. I was like, well, maybe. I was like, no, there's not. It's not God. That was Satan trying to attack me. Learned that at church youth group, and if I didn't keep going, I might have questioned it even more and been like, it could have been. This probably is God. Just what it is. But because I went to church, I went to youth group, and even though I wasn't hanging out with anybody, I still went to church and stuff and tried to praise God, listen to Him, and listen to what everybody's teaching. So I was like, okay, cool. That was weird. I told my therapist this the next time I visited her. It's like, I had the craziest dream. I was like, I had this dream that God was telling me to kill myself, and she was like, what? I was like, yeah. I mean, I know it's not true and all, but that's what the dream I had. I know it's Satan and everything, but and she was like, it went from, I was probably only like 70% or maybe 50 compared to her normal patients. I went to full on spiritual, crazy, suicidal man. She's like, okay, well, I'm gonna give you some of these antidepressants. And at that time, and still continuing in my life, I'm really scared of those kinds of pills. Even like just over the counter stuff. It worries me to take some of that, so try not to most of the time unless I absolutely have to, or just stuff going on around us. Like devastating. I'm like, okay. So at first I was like, I'll take the pills just to make her feel better. Never took them. Probably only once before school. And like, I was loopy. I wasn't feeling myself, and I was like, what is going on? Then everybody was saying, are you okay? You're kind of acting weird. I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But like, it was obvious to everybody else that that's not Austin. That's he's not loopy. He's not out of focus all the time. I mean, I am sometimes, but not all the time. But I was like, yeah, I'm not taking those. Be honest. um, and then we had this amazing mission trip. We're gonna go to the city, feed the homeless. It's gonna be awesome. Have a great time. This is where everything changes. It's amazing how God works. It only took 4 days really to the build up to where Christ saved me in this situation, and this is the most important part. All that stuff I talked to you about is just showing you, like, I wanted to die. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to fight anymore. I just wanted to give up. I wanted Jesus to take me now. I can't stress that enough. I can't. I wish, I don't wish anybody was where I was at that point, but, I wish I had a better way of explaining it, but, can't really explain it as well as that, just straight up. That's what happened. I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm not gonna do nothing about it. I'm just telling you guys straight up, that's what I wanted to do. So I sat down at the youth group and we were talking about what's going to happen, and there's this girl. Thinking if I should say her name or not. Maybe would she get mad? Probably. Maybe. Let's not. So there's this girl. She was fairly new. She was sat down next to me. Her name was Haley. She was so young. She sat down right next to me, and she said, "Are you depressed? You seem kind of weird. You seem kind of off. You don't seem very happy." And, like, I kid you not, in those, like, seconds, I was just freaking out. Like, I'll tell you, I've been working on this mask for so long and everything, and I was, like, freaking out because this girl that I don't even know has figured out that I'm not really that happy at all. That I didn't want to be here, that I didn't want anything to happen. And I was freaking out. I'm like, she knows everything. Like, she knows I'm depressed. She knows I want to kill myself. Everything's going wrong. Everything's not going the way I wanted it to, and she's gonna tell everybody. And I was, like, in those, like, 10, 15, 30 seconds, I was freaking out. Not actually outwardly, but mentally I was freaking out. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'm okay. She's like, all right. But that scared me. That was God showing me through a person that I don't even know. And I've thanked her afterwards, for what she did, even though she really didn't know that she did it, which is great. But this is like my first trial with God, and I'm just so happy that everybody flew through with everything that God told them to do, even without them knowing that it was God telling them to do it. So, like, I couldn't wrap my head around it, and we were going, and I was like, oh my gosh, is everybody else gonna find out? Is everybody else gonna know? Who knows? And then I had to recompose myself. I had to, like, put that fake smile back on, and I was like, okay, we're all right. Calm down. It's alright. It's alright. Um, and then we got in our vans or the bus or whatever we took, and we got all situated and we started our way over there. They was actually surprised that they didn't mention we were going to have a prophetic word. And a prophetic word is when, um, well, at least what happened with me, there was 3 people. It doesn't have to be 3. It doesn't have to be a large group. I'm sure it could only be 1 person. But 3 people were standing in front of me, and they would pray to God, and God would speak to them, and then they would communicate it to you. That's basically what it is. I've at that time, like once I got there, because other people have been on the same trip and they've been here before and stuff like that. So I guess I wasn't really surprised, but it surprised me. And they're like, yeah, they're kind of hit or miss with this, and like somebody who doesn't play music is like, oh, they said I was going to be an amazing worship leader or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, so maybe they're not that into it. It's just as I go on, sorry. So go into this, thinking, oh, they don't really know what's going on, So I'm standing there, they put their hands on me. I thought that was fine, and they start praying, and had one lady speaking tongues, which was pretty cool. Never really had that gift. So it's an amazing gift that people should use. Really helps. God. And they knew everything. They knew about my depression. They knew I wanted to die. They were saying, like, Austin, I see something dark in you. And I kind of just choked up. I was like, what are you talking about? I didn't, say anything, but I was just listening to them. Didn't want to interrupt their flow. And they're like, like, I see death. I see you wanting to die. I can see that. It's just crazy how God works. It's crazy. Random people, I've never even met them. They don't know me. They probably don't even remember my name.